Hey guys, today we have another awesome Power Rangers Shoky review here, or Shoky Power Rangers review, however you want to look at it. I'm going to go with the first thing I said. And today we are looking at the awesome Legacy Saba, the Talking Tiger Saber from the, well, I don't want to say, I guess second generation of Power Rangers, the Thunder era. At that point, you know that the Green Ranger's power had run out and he had to go away. So basically, they built themselves a new Ranger, gave him a new Zord, new color, everything, and we got this weapon as a result. Now, I had an original Saba back in the day, but I got it secondhand from either my cousin or a friend, I can't remember. And it was, I hate when that happens. It was not in the best shape. None of the electronics worked on it. The blade was partially broken. But hey, I had a Saba, and it was awesome to some degree. Now, unfortunately, after many, many years of being stored inappropriately, it was a little too damaged when I came across it not too many months ago. So unfortunately, I had to trash it. So this one, sadly, is not mine. Once again, this is on loan from my good friend, just as he loaned me the Dragon Dagger before he let me loan this to me so that I could review it. And I do have my communicator on, set to white, because we changed Rangers here, guys. So let's check out the box. Now you can see, it barely fits in my little review area here. I'm as far back as I can come on my desk, and I can't get it to fit in frame. So we'll try to take a closer look at it here. So we got some die-cast parts. By the way, this thing is heavy, so it definitely has some die-cast in it. You have the great gold foil Saba Talking Saber thing there with the Mighty Morphin logo. You get a great, obviously, window into seeing Saba on the inside. It's got die-cast parts, lights and sounds, Talking Tiger. Something about that Talking Tiger line, it's just funny. And of course, you get a great shot of the White Ranger there with Saba. And if we look around the edges, there's not a whole lot going around the back on there. So let's flip this giant box over and look at the back. I'm serious, guys. This thing is actually heavy. So you got I think it's probably the exact same shot of the White Ranger there, just zoomed out a little bit. You get some die-cast parts, lights and sounds, and pointing at the buttons that we got here. Sword extends! Of course it does. The old one did too, but it was not great. And you get the Talking Tiger with the original voice of Saba. That's actually pretty awesome. Let me scooch over here. We'll read the little story they've got written here. Let's see if it's any different than what I said. Accompanying the White Ranger when fighting evil, the enchanted Saba sword had the ability to talk, fly, and emit energy blasts. He did do all those things. When battling big villains, the powerful Saba sword was used to control the White Tiger sword by inserting it into the control panel. That's all they give you. They don't even give you any White Ranger backup, you know. They don't tell you where he came from. Just talks about Saba. I guess that's fair because Saba in and of himself was a character, sort of. This is actually a pretty good close-up shot there. I like that. It's pretty cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this beauty out of the box, and we will look at what it can do. Sorry, I can't help but do that. Alright, guys. We've got Saba out of the box, and yeah, this is a significant change from the original one. This thing has some size and some heft to it. And it's pretty big. That's what she said. No, we don't do that's what she said jokes on this channel. And just for a little bit of comparison, we get our little desk Wally checking out. He's actually almost in the shade of Saba there. Come on. No. Wally? No, I know it's no. Get over it. Stop. Okay. So let's move the camera in just a little bit. Check out some of these details. In the middle here, you get a great shot of the White Ranger's power coin. Actually, the cool thing is that center part is every time. The center part is kind of reminiscent of the actual Gold Ranger's mantle. I kind of dig that. So it's got the big shoulder bits coming out here. Now it does, of course, look different, where his would be mostly gold black with, a little bit of white on it. This is kind of inverted, but I do dig it. Now, one thing I've noticed just in handling it a little bit, the plastic honestly feels like the same cheap plastic from the 90s. Like only along here where all of this, the sheath kind of area enclosing it. It doesn't feel like the best plastic, but it could also be that this is hollow, but this is solid. The handle definitely feels better, but it still feels a little bit cheap. And when you've got this much die cast combined with cheap plastic, you're almost, asking for an accident to happen. Now, this guy is, of course, lots of die cast. You got lots of metal right through here. Coin is die cast. This part, die cast, die cast, die cast, die cast, plastic, heavy plastic, die cast. Big Saba head here. He looks really funny at that angle. Almost looks like more like a gerbil than a tiger. But, okay, I'm knocking things over. This thing is big. I'm knocking stuff over on my desk. So you got the good solid tiger kind of armor head there. And while I do really like this, I think compared to, say, the Dragon Dagger of the same kind of generation of Legacy toys, is not as good. Now, as for being a usable sword, it's definitely better. Size-wise, it definitely fits with that. But the quality of the plastic would worry me for actually really playing with it too much. Now, one of the cool gimmicks that Saba always had was the awesome extending blade. We'll back up just a little bit here so we can see a little bit better. Look how long that is. Now, the original one, while it still had this same gimmick where this is kind of hollow and, has this cool scaly effect here, this wasn't really on the original toy. It had kind of this gap back here, and in fact, this is one of the parts that was really broken on mine, but the blade eventually warped from the heat from where it was being stored. Now, clearly, I think my friend has been playing with this a little bit. It's a little scraped up, but nothing worse for wear. Got actually a little bit of paint there on the edge. But don't get me wrong, the finish on this is actually really nice. I do love this gold paint all along here. I think the original one was actually a sticker, wasn't tamper-graphed or anything directly on there. Oh, we actually got some sounds coming out there, because I think I accidentally turned on the switch. And I do love, oh yeah, I love this. You got these little claws sticking right out of there, and these are actually die cast, and they're cast in a nice, almost a gunmetal. Not quite silver, not polished by any means. I do like it. And they did some good panel lining on here, or else this would just disappear into a sea of white. Now let's go ahead and we will flip the on and off switch. So you got the switch there. Flip it on. In case you didn't see that, let me do it one more time. Saba awakens. They did a really good job making his mouth move. Now, the original one, I think the mouth could move, but I don't believe it did it with any kind of, like it didn't go along with the other sounds and stuff that it made. Now, you do have a few buttons on this for activating sounds. You got two of them right here on the handle. And when you grip it, you get the sword swinging sounds. Part of me wonders if they just recycled some of the sounds directly from the Dragon Dagger. Now, fortunately, we can test that because I still have said Dragon Dagger right here. So, let's just check the sounds here. Now, this is kind of on a randomizer. Okay, so it's the same sound, but it seems like they tweaked it just a little bit. Wow, I just nailed it on the same time there. Yeah, see. This is a deeper sound, this is a higher pitch sound. So it's interesting that they basically use the exact same sounds from this toy, which... Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Same sounds from that toy and this one, which I guess it's okay. I mean, it's the next generation of the same thing. Now, the one thing this thing does that the Dragon Dagger doesn't do, Saba talks. You get a couple buttons right back here, and in the show, the White Ranger would hold it face up. Mind you, I don't have enough space here to make that happen effectively. So we will push the buttons back here on the back of his head, and I will put it to where you can see what he's doing. You get the eyes light up, he growls. Okay, so the left button only makes him do that. So that's kind of when he's excited.
Activate the Tiger Sword.
He told me to activate that Tiger Sword.
White Tiger Sword. Tiger mode. Battle ready now.
Nice.
Oh, that was most impressive.
Thank you.
I'm having difficulty getting through to the Red Ranger.
I don't know why.
I think you need a bit more power.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
I'll take care of him.
I appreciate that.
Activate the Tiger Sword.
You already told me to do that.
White Tiger Sword. Tiger mode.
Okay.
Battle ready now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now he's repeating himself. But that is awesome, and I love that they used the original actor's voice for that. I don't know if he re-recorded it or they just had the old recordings. Now, I do love the finish of the Saba head here. I talked about it just a minute ago, but I love this great die-cast metal helmet here. I kind of wish that they'd kept this effect, like somehow made it in relation to the Tiger Sword itself. This actual sword doesn't really, except for the Tiger Sword's actual sword, it doesn't seem to really fit much of anything else, but I love it. I love the sculpt they have here. They probably used something very similar to the original sculpt to make this. This is almost like screen accurate sized, so I do really like this. Now, I actually had a chance to buy one of these for myself. I might still, because they're not that expensive right now. I think originally it's only about 80 or 90 bucks. I just saw it on sale for cheaper. So, I might have to give into that legacy bug and actually buy one for myself. But definitely, if I ever get a chance to buy a Dragon Dagger at a decent price, I will get that. Saba is cool. Now, one thing that makes it a little awkward, if you are going to play with this or use it for cosplay, this head is where most of the weight is. It is very pendulous. It wants to swing downward. So you just got to be wary of that. And you could probably really hurt somebody. Like, if you needed to, like this end, the Sharpie end, is not going to hurt somebody. This, on the other hand, you can knock someone out. Even these claws in the middle. You could probably hammer something with that. That's actually really good. Okay, I take it back. Because this little insert is plastic, this part is metal. So be careful if you're going to hammer someone with it. I don't promote hitting people with toys. Bad story. A long time ago, I did, in fact, take out my frustration on my younger niece with a Dragon Dagger. Mind you, it was only one hit. I apologize profusely. I got an immense amount of trouble for weeks on end for that. So I learned to not hit people with toys. It may seem like a good idea at the time, but it's not. And here's the battery cover here. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the instructions. I guess my friend might have lost them. But I'm guessing this hole right here has something to do with releasing the battery cover. So, it probably only takes a couple double A's. And they did a good job covering up all the screw holes on the back. I like the details on this. They even give you some weathering in there behind the coin. They could have just easily just done a quick little black wash. They did a little bit of gray just to show kind of some age and some tarnish. I find it funny that, and I never really thought about this. So Saba, as it is, was a brand new creation. They made it. They made the White Ranger. But when it came out, I mean, in the show, it was weathered really nice. So his little, basically carved stone head was dirty, and you could see all the details. Same thing in the edges. It looks a little bit dirty and old and weathered, but clean and new at the same time. I don't know. Just a random thought, guys. I'm sorry. I think about things sometimes. This guy is awesome. If you are a giant White or Green Ranger fan, or Tommy Oliver fan, as it were, you need to pick this one up. I'm kind of sad it doesn't play the music. It does all the other kind of sounds. It does not play any music, at least not from any button I've pushed. And so that, in this case, makes this a slightly lesser toy in my mind to the Dragon Dagger. But if you really need to have Saba, this is probably the best version you're gonna get, because it comes with the much better, more screen accurate blade. The size is better, especially for adults, not children. I wouldn't let a kid play with this. They would probably hurt themselves. Could only honestly get better if that was a real metal blade, which I would not recommend having, but it'd be sweet if it had it. Now, we're going to go ahead and call that quits on this review. I hope you enjoy this. Check out my other Power Rangers playlist from now on, with the basically just other Tommy Oliver stuff at the time being. Now, I do have a couple other reviews of Power Rangers Joyce coming up sometime soon. And if you watched my room tour, you probably saw those laying around. But for now, that's it for this. And I will catch you guys next time. Remember to always keep on nerding, and I think we will go out on some good music.